Main screen turn on. And we're back, 2/3 into the game. My name is Yidoger, and this is my co-commentator, Nemesis. So, I want to start out by saying something about the thumbnail that I'm using for this video. I'm using a sprite of Oni, or Oni Akuma, whatever you want to call him, from, well, not the sprite, but the character is from Street Fighter 4. And the sprite was made by deviantart user by the name of Steamboy33. Now, I'm saying this because, ooh, that was bad luck. Restart. Now, I'm mentioning this because I wasn't able to find any contact information of his on such short notice, but let me do this again, just to get the blocks up. But the sprite that he made is absolutely amazing, and I really wanted to use it. So yeah, by any chance I'm not on my A game right now. So if by any chance he would see this and not approve of my using his image in my thumbnail, then I'll remove it, make some other thumbnail. But at any rate, I'll put a link. Oh, come on. This is going pretty terrible. At any rate, I'll put a link to his deviantart profile in the description below. Alright. Let me just step on this switch, just to make sure this time. There we go. Oh, it actually continues on. So yeah. Other than that, I want to talk about the last boss that we encountered in part 11, which I couldn't talk about since it was a Discord display, which was Hookbuilder Koopa. Now, this boss for me is kind of special in that when I was younger, pretty much when this game was released, I could not for the life of me figure out how to actually defeat him. I would shoot him once, and then don't ask me why, but I could not figure out that I had to shoot him multiple times in the head to make him fall over. So back in the day, I'm going to assume that this was about... Ooh. Alright, no harm done. Let me just get on the ski lift, as the name of the game says. Anyway, this was probably somewhere around 20 years ago or so, I would wager, and the internet wasn't as big then as it was now. So basically I would get most of my answers from a magazine, a Dutch one at that, which, if I recall correctly, was called Club Nintendo Extra, or something along those lines. So what I actually did was I wrote a letter to that magazine. And I recall specifically that my dad helped me a bit with that. Since well, like I said, that was 20 years ago, so I was pretty young myself, asking how to defeat him, and my letter actually got into the magazine. Ooh, that was a close one. So yeah, that's something that's actually stuck by me. It might seem lame now, but this was a... Oh! Can I get back? Yes! Now just to hope that the ski lift actually comes back. Ah, there it is. Alright. But yeah, this was actually kind of a big thing back in the day. Lame as it may seem now, when all the answers are so readily available on the internet. But that's just a little trivia about my gaming experiences from the past. Alright, so next level. So what I want to talk about in this episode is actually the follow-up on from episode 10, where I talked about my E-past, as I called it. Oh, I hate these slippery ice fucking levels. I left off at episode 10 talking about webcomics and how after that, well, webcomics and forums, that was where I left off at, and how my interest in the internet kind of faded. Ooh. Oh boy. There we go. Just to make it a bit easier. And how the next step that actually brought me back to the internet was YouTube. And well, obviously I'm doing YouTube videos nowadays, so that whole thing had a obvious impact on me. So what I want to talk about in this video is basically some things that I would like to see happen for me in the future in regards to YouTube or making videos. Something and some YouTubers who have inspired my own works. Now, I know that a lot of people will probably name the Angry Video Game Nerd as a big inspiration for what they do, but for me this is actually a bit different. I obviously know of the nerd's videos, and while I do enjoy them, I never thought they were extremely great or anything. I actually didn't get to know about his videos until a good while later, after I got into the whole YouTube thing. Or started to know about the whole YouTube, let's see if this is the good place, since I just skipped the door. But yeah, I didn't get to know the Angry Video Game Nerd until quite a bit after I discovered YouTube. So, for me, I would say there was one video after which I saw it which made me think, you know, making videos about my own gaming antics could actually be something that I might like doing. Regretfully, I don't specifically recall... Oh, that's too bad. I also don't specifically recall how to play this game properly, apparently. But as I was saying... Ooh, I think this is quite a way back. Alright, let me see. All this cold here is making me want to sneeze in real life. So forget me if you just suddenly hear a blast. As I was saying, there was one video that I saw which I had a great laugh at, but I don't particularly recall what it was. I believe it was Super Mario Galaxy 2 related, and I think it had to do with a hack. It was either the perfect run star that you get there, which is the most difficult star to get in the game, or a hack that made that level even harder. I don't specifically recall. It was either of those two. So it was basically some guy playing that level, showing him continuously failing at it. And that was the video that really made me think, you know, perhaps I could do something with making videos. I don't know why exactly it was that video instead of all the countless dozens of others that I'd watched up until that point, but that was the one that made me think that it might actually be fun to make videos myself. Interestingly enough, though, it wasn't. You'd think that, you know, with that in mind, you'd think that doing stuff like Let's Plays or noobing around would be, ooh, this seems dangerous. And I completely missed. Let's see, can I... that's too bad. And I wasted all my X, when I probably could have just slid under it. Oh, I'm not liking this. But yeah, with that information in mind, you'd think that it would either be Let's Plays or videos like noobing around that I do that would be my primary idea. Ooh, this is the skiing bit, isn't it? I recall having a lot of problems with this when I was younger. I'm gonna try and talk while I do this, but I wouldn't be surprised if I fail continuously. If that happens, I'll just do this while not talking. Maybe skip it. But yeah, those kind of videos were actually not my initial idea. Oh, that went fairly well. But it goes on? Yeah, it goes on. Those types of videos actually were not my initial idea to do. What I really wanted to do, and what inspired me to do so, were trifle trailing videos, like the one that you can see by clicking this link here of the thumbnail. Ooh, that's too bad. Let me just skip up to that part again, just so we don't have to continuously watch this skiing bit. Alright. This is the point where I died just now. And I died again. Great. Let's try that again. And that's attempt number 3. So yeah, that video I was talking about earlier also went something like this. Oh, for real? I can't win at this game. Alright, here we are again. Ugh. Thank the moons. I'm gonna create a new playlist called I suck at video games. I think bonus challenge is the game's way of encouraging me to do that. So, let me think. What was it? What was I saying? What I originally wanted to do was a just do trifle trailing series. This was actually inspired by Did You Know Gaming, but even more so by the Super Beard Bros' run of Donkey Kong Country, where you had Gerard playing through the game, and Alex, so far bad, off to a bad start. Like I said, why I suck at video games. So Gerard was playing through the game and Alex was spewing out a constant stream of trivia. And I really like that concept. But obviously, I'm just one man, so... for me doing that would be... Should I shoot it? I know I probably shouldn't, but I can't resist. But, like I was saying, for me, I'm just one man, so I couldn't... I actually tried to do this by making notes about trivia and what to talk about during the game. But this proved to be pretty much impossible for one person. I couldn't read extensive lines like that and then play at the same time. I mean, you can tell that I'm having a hard enough time just playing like this. And I'm not even extensively talking about anything that I had to memorize or whatever. So I decided to pre-record the dialogue and then put it over my gameplay footage. And also do some heavily edited images and such into further explain my points that I was making. So in that way, it's actually kind of a combination between the two series that I just named. So this was my plan to do originally, to just have trifle trailing videos and perhaps some Let's Play material in between. Where I was thinking mostly of, you know, games that I really wanted to play or replay. Specifically, I had Skies of Arcadia in mind. Well, that didn't lead anywhere. So yeah, Skies of Arcadia Legends for the GameCube. Oh, well. So that's where I was supposed to go. That was kind of stupid of me. But as it turned out, the trifle trailing videos take massive amounts of time to make. I just severely underestimated that. Even thinking back about it now, I get kind of ashamed thinking that I would be able to pump out one of those videos every 2 weeks. So, but still, I was doing Final Fight 1, as I linked to just now. Oh, that's bad aiming for my part. Alright. And as it turned out, I actually used, or had to have some footage from... Oh boy, come back here, baby Mario. I can't come after you. And as it turned out, I actually had to use some footage from the Street Fighter Alpha series, specifically some ending scenes. And I figured I had two options. I could either try to find them on the internet or on YouTube, probably. And then I would have to go through the ordeal of having to ask for permission, link to whoever the Ooh, what's this? Link to whoever the video was made by and where I got the footage from, etc, etc. Or, since I did have a PlayStation 2 and Street Fighter Alpha Anthology lying around, I could try and record the footage myself, which is what I did in the end, and which is also where the well, the Street Fighter Alpha Anthology's videos basically came from. So yeah, I had a few laughs making those videos, because those are really terrible. I was really bad at the games. But I figured, actually much like I figure nowadays, you know, it's a video. Ooh. What's this? Alright. That was unnecessarily risky. But much like nowadays, with some videos that don't really work out as well as I had hoped they would, I figure, well, video is a video. Especially if I want to do a once a week update schedule, which is something that I do want to do. So I just threw those out there. I know there's a few people who had some cheap laughs at them. So I guess all is good, even though they make me look like a fool. Those videos will probably be in that same I suck at video games playlist. Alright. Ooh. So basically that's where the idea for doing ooh, that's dangerous. For the noobing around videos came from. The name Noobing Around actually came from a quote from a Angry Joe video, where he said that I don't remember the exact video or the exact quote, so I'm paraphrasing here, but he mentioned that when his father would see him play games, he would always say, "Oh, are you kids farting around again?" That's what his dad called playing games, farting around. And that's kind of where noobing around came from. A combination of that and, well, me literally noobing around. This was always one of my least favorite bosses. I always got really tense when I was younger, due to the time limit here. Especially with this, the slug has no weak points speech, even though that's quite obviously not true. But the time limit and the fact that you can actually run out of eggs here and need to run all the way back to the beginning of the level to get more always kind of got on my nerves. But yeah, those videos when I started out with them, the noobing around videos, they were not particularly good. You know, when I look back at the first trifle training video that I did, which is one that I do kind of like it, looking back at it. But there's some really bad mistakes I made in there. I mean, there's awful sound editing, for one. Oh boy, this is what I mean. It's getting closer. I hope it only needs 3 hits. Nope, it needs more. I don't know if I ever actually lost against this boss, but I sure seem to be coming quite close to that now. Whew! Thank the moons. But yeah, the first ones particularly sucked. I thought that speeding the video up would make it a bit better in regards of my failing so bad. But it didn't really, and it wasn't until I saw Maximilian Dude's boss rush video from Street Fighter 4, where he was fighting Oni that I actually started thinking, you know, this might be the way to go with this concept. And I'm not gonna, I mean, those videos are really good from him, and I'm not gonna say that I actually reached that level of editing yet, but that's kind of what I'm striving for when I do those types of videos. Let's try to play one more level while I talk. So, Maximilian Dude's videos have also been an inspiration to my Discourse Display series. In his videos, he often talks about a subject quite passionately, I might say, mostly fighting games. And even though I don't particularly like fighting games or have much interest in them, I do always watch his videos because he's able to bring it in such a way that even I get hyped for them. But what he does is he plays, he talks about them while playing gameplay footage of him or whatever, footage from trailers or official material. And I thought that worked really well, and I wanted to try something similar to that. So that's where the Discourse Display series comes from. Oh, that was close. That's too bad. That was my fault. I got a bit anxious by the Goonie. So yeah, I tried to emulate that by also talking about subjects. Wow, subjects. Oh, come on. While also playing some footage that's relatable to it. Ooh, well, that was a bad one. So while he typically does footage from the game that he's talking about, I'll do something that's related to it. I actually like for example, when I do the Nintendo Directs, and I use this game, because this is a Nintendo game, and I'm talking about the Nintendo Direct, or when I played some Kirby's Air Ride. Oh, come on. Wow, this is not going well. Or when I played some Kirby's Air Ride while talking about Super Smash Bros., which I think was not released yet at that point. I think that was after the Nintendo Direct specifically about that game. I can't quite remember. But, you know, I like to mix it up in that way. By showing footage that's relatable in some way, but is not particularly about that specific subject that I'm talking about. Then there's, let's see, Bits and Pieces, which I do, which is basically inspired by The Completionist, or at least in the fact that he, you know, makes videos about completing video games. For him, he just goes from, takes a new game and goes from beginning to end. While for me, it is typically taking a game where I still need to do, you know, one or two things, and then making a video out of me actually doing those things. Let's see, alright. And it's not so much a review when I do them. It's just showing me literally completing a game. Except for the A Journey 2 videos that I did a few of. Which is which is me playing a game from beginning to end, but highly edited, just so the highlights are shown in it. So those are also videos that I do enjoy to do, the A Journey Through ones. Though, obviously, since... Oh, there goes Baby Mario again. obviously, since, ooh. Am I supposed to make this in one go? Not necessarily, apparently. Oh, let's see. Do I need to get on one of these? Yes, I do. So yeah, but these do take a lot of time. Oh. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. But these do take a lot of time, since I need to, you know, beat the game from beginning to end, and then the editing is also quite a big process. But those are also videos that I really enjoy to do. Then there's stuff like the alright ones over and the initial impressions that I would like to do more of. You know, some people inspire me, and that are, say, Pro Jared, or Some Call Me Johnny, Stop Skeletons from Fighting. These are guys that I look up to in the regards of the actual reviews. So I guess if someone would ask me if I would want to do YouTube full-time, like make it a day job, I would probably say no. Mainly because, well, you know, there's all sorts of restrictions and rules, and honestly, you never quite know what to expect with YouTube or this whole thing in general, when videos might be taken down or whatever. And I do respect the people that actually do make a living out of it, but for me, this is more of a hobby, and I like the fact that I can share it with people. If I could make a bit of money out of it, then sure. I would love to at least be able to finance all the investments that I make in this, which is perhaps a bit too much for a hobby. But that's not the main goal. If just some people are entertained by my videos, then that's fine enough for me. And I think that would actually be a pretty good leaving point. So with that, hope to see you next time, where we'll probably finish off World 5.